Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Casting an Actor's Perspective. I'm John. We're going to jump right in like we always do, so here we go. This week we are talking about a mistake that I see too many actors make, and that is they're trying really fucking hard to be interesting. Now, this comes with one of my biggest pet peeves, and it's not just for me, it is also for casting. I can't tell you how many times I've heard them complain about this. Here we go. Number one, the hugest thing, whisper acting. Do you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about whisper acting? When somebody's trying really hard to be really cool and they're just talking like this. It's really hard to hear, isn't it? Well, guess what? If it's really hard to hear, it's really hard to be engaged. And if it's really hard to be engaged, it's really hard to get excited about your acting. And I watch so many actors do this thing where they come in and they mumble and they whisper and they think that it's doing something that is going to make them stand out, or they think it's going to capture the casting director's attention, or they think if they get somebody to lean in like this, that means they're really interested. Sometimes they're just trying to fucking hear you. And that's all it is. So please, for the love of God, let's get off of this whisper acting thing. It's bullshit. And most directors that I've seen in director sessions have called actors out and basically said to them, this is bullshit. Don't waste my time. Let's really fucking do this. Feel the thing. Be engaged. Be with it. Be with the person you're reading with. Be in the moment. But don't try to manufacture anything that's going to make you seem cooler or more interesting, because 99% of the time, it's just not working. You got to remember, our job is to tell the truth and to feel all the things. So if you're doing those two things, you're already interesting. So this takes me to my second point, and this is something that unfortunately I can't help you with because everybody's journey is different. But when you're trying to be interesting, and listen, this is something I still struggle with. I still want to be liked. I still want to I still want, the praise and the adulation and all of those things that come with this craft of acting. I want people to recognize me. I want people to recognize my work. I want them to say, hey man, that was really good. As much as I try to be in the work and to be in the moment and to let all that other shit go, I'm still a human being. And I still love validation. As much as I wish I didn't, I still love it. So this is some deep personal work. And this is where I leave you to say, find your path and walk that path. Because you've got to get true and you got to get real about you. Who are you? And what do you bring? And the hardest thing to learn in life, listen, I'm not a young man. You can see the grays in my beard. I'm not going to tell you how old I am because it's almost embarrassing. But, this is a journey that you all have to take on your own. I have to take it on my own. And it's a daily thing. It's an everyday process. And that is sort of breaking me down and saying, who is John? And what does he want? And what does he want to live his life like? And what does he want to put out into the world? And I have to find that space inside of myself that allows me to create from that space so that I know that no matter where I'm coming from, no matter what I'm bringing to the world, I feel good and I feel fulfilled in and of myself without the outside validation. And I think as actors, when we come into the room and we're trying to be interesting, it's just like the episode last week of things being polished. They can smell that a mile away too. They can smell you trying too hard. Everybody feels it. There's a shift. There's an energetic thing that happens in the room where it's just kind of like, get off me. I got my own shit I'm dealing with. I don't need to carry yours too. And I think when people come in, and when any of us come in, I'm going to include myself in that. When any of us come in and we're trying too hard, it's immediately apparent and it takes us out. And not only is our work not good anymore because we're trying to do something rather than being something, it also shifts the energy and shifts the viewpoint of casting, because suddenly they're no longer engaged. Because how can you be engaged with somebody who's trying to put something on as opposed to somebody who's already wearing it, who's already in it, who's already being it? So do this work for yourself. Listen, I go to therapy every week, and it's an essential part of my life. And you may need that too. But read, learn, challenge yourself to grow. Find ways that you can just get real about who you are and what your essence is, what the truth is for you in every aspect of your life. And that's going to be a different thing for everybody. That's why I say I leave you here to find your own path, because this is truly something I cannot help you with. The only thing I can do is repeat to you something that you've heard a million times, but maybe you don't believe it yet. You are enough. I am enough. We are all enough. The way that we are human. And by being human, we are inherently and automatically deserving and capable of presenting human emotions and human realities. So you got to know that. You got to take that with you. Just by being here, by being alive, the very virtue of being human means that you are capable of delivering these things in interesting ways just by being your very human self and not trying to manufacture something. I know that's a deep one. I know this is a difficult one. And like I said, for me, it's an everyday process. I'm still challenging myself. I still get challenged by outside factors, forcing me to deal with, look at, and reflect on myself so that I can be more authentic and more true to myself. But you've got to get to a point where you start to let that go and you start to reach that place of just embodying and understanding that you are enough. And some days you're going to get it, some days you're not. But when you try to manufacture it, it just doesn't work. You got to believe that. All right, so that's it for this episode. And also excitingly, is that a word? Exciting? Excited? I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited because this is the second to the last video that I had planned. There's a couple of other things that have come up, but next week, this could be the last episode for a little bit while I shift focus and gears and get back into developing some of the deeper stuff, some of the sort of if this is 101 auditioning, this is sort of 201 auditioning stuff. So next week is the last one that I had planned for this. We'll see how that goes because there are a couple of ideas that have come up because of questions that people have asked during, commenting on some of these videos or Instagram lives and that kind of thing that sparked a couple of ideas for some supplemental videos for me to make. But we're almost at the end of this. So I really want to say thank you for the journey. And I will see you all next week. And next week, I'm going to talk to you and hopefully try to quell some of the fears and the things that we build up in our minds about the reasons why you won't book something. All right. And here's a little hint, a little spoiler for you for next week's video. It's never, and I mean fucking ever, personal. Well, unless it is. But unless you're an asshole, it's never personal. Okay, trust me on that. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.